Well, Russ Berrie was larger than life.
He always was looking and striving to do better himself.
He cared very deeply about people and how they lived their lives.
Mr. Berrie was the leader. He was somebody that stood out and went against the grain.
What you saw is what you got. Everybody was equal in his book, and Russ's heart was his biggest attribute.
Russ always felt that we needed to recognize people who are unsung heroes in our community, and that's really the goal of what we do with the Make a Difference Awards. We want to inspire people to make a positive culture change.
I'm delighted to welcome you to the 14th Annual Russ Berrie Award for Making a Difference program. I'm very proud to honor Russ's legacy and continue this tradition that began with his vision for recognizing the everyday heroes whose actions are an inspiration to all, and who, in serving as role models, encourage others to give back to their communities.
Here's to doctors and nurses. Here's to truck drivers too. Here's to the salesman and office clerk. All sorts of folks doing all sorts of work. Here's to all the heroes around us, for whom there's no Hall of Fame. Though it's true that most of us don't even know your name.
We didn't know that we were winners until the day that we arrived at Ramapo. And Mr. Berrie greeted us. And I think I just gave him a hug. I said, thank you, I love you. Thanks so much for what you did. And it was very, very natural, very emotional, and that's how I felt he was. He was like, I'm happy, I'm proud of you. Mr. Berrie's award was so special because he shared a part of his heart with us.
Our $50,000 Russ Berrie Making a Difference awardee, Chip Paillex.
Our program is America's Grow Row, and basically it's an organization where we have mostly kids that help us plant, maintain, harvest, and then donate produce to food pantries and food banks all across the state. The program is about the people. It's about the people who we help. It's about the people who help us help others, all of our volunteers.
I'm going to ask you what got you involved and why you're so motivated. Doctor.
Mention of a need for an OB/GYN at a hospital in Haiti, mentioned to me by my cousin at a christening. I told her that, gee, that sounded good to me. Why don't you give me a call? 2 weeks later, they called my bluff, and 3 weeks later, I was in Haiti.
What do you do for them?
I do OB/GYN and GYN surgery. Try to help with some general medical problems that arise around the hospital, and then go out and try and raise some money for the organization.
His father, Edwin Leahy, he's the headmaster of St. Benedict's Prep. It's this extraordinary prep school for poor kids in Newark, New Jersey.
It's a school of 540 young men from 7th grade to 12th grade. Kids run the school. The structure of the school is such that the decision-making on a day-to-day basis is done by the students. Any decisions that kids can make, they ought to be able to make them. I think it gives them a sense of responsibility. I also think it gives them a sense of ownership and a confidence that they're able to do this and to compete with anybody else that gets put in positions of leadership.
It deals with women, not just Muslim women, but all women who are affected by domestic violence. When did you start the organization?
November 2003.
Who's come in the door?
Oh, wow. I've had Christian women, I've had Baptist women, I've had Jewish women, I've had Muslim women, I've had women, just women knocking on the door, calling my cell phone.
Calling your cell phone?
Calling my cell phone. I have women that call my phone all times of the night. The Art Gallery is a unique not-for-profit, and it's dedicated to having professional photographers donate their time to take pictures of kids currently in DYFS foster care to help them get adopted, to put a unique twist on a child who is deserving of a family. And it was incredible that somebody like the Russ Berrie Foundation could look on a little small organization. We have no office, we have no staff, So really what it was an affirmation that, yeah, we're making a difference, and somebody's recognizing that we're making a difference, and you can be just a group of individuals and friends of friends and acquaintances and complete strangers who came together to do the right thing.
I started the organization because at that time I was doing solo work in the churches, and I needed Braille for some of the words for the music. And I found a lady who could do Braille, and I said, if we just had a few more people, maybe we could start an organization for the blind, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who need help. I have one of the original members with me today from 1968, and in 6 months, we had 16 members. We started out with 8, and we had 16, and the Lions Clubs helped us to buy the Braille writers, which were very inexpensive at that time. Now they cost about $900 a piece, but now we're doing it with computers, which is a blessing. But we have had, it was me who benefited most by the beginning of the organization, because I was helped, and I just felt I wanted to do something for other people.
When I was cooking for my family, I decided I was going to make extra plates and take it down to the park. And there was 6 homeless people sitting at the table. And I was leaving, this one man named Gregory. He said, Miss, if we only can get an evening dinner, we'll be so grateful. And I said, well, from this day forward, I will make sure you get a meal every day.
I don't speak about Russ in the past, because his legacy, Make Someone Happy, lives on. And it inspires me every time we give a Russ Berry bear out to an orphan or a child who's not well. I started the Comedy Cures Foundation from my chemo chair, April 30th, 1999. And when I got to meet Angelica and Russ, I told them my vision as a little 98-pound bald woman fighting for her life. And they immediately came out to support my therapeutic entertainment programs for kids and grown-ups living with illness.
We sometimes question why we're here. What is the work we're meant to do on earth? Those of you who we honor and celebrate today need not ask that question. The question now is, how do the rest of us follow your example? How do we, too, make a difference?
What I think, Angelica, what you meant to do, and your husband with this foundation, was to honor, as you said, really ordinary people who found it in themselves to do something really extraordinary to help other people. And we're very, very lucky in New Jersey to have so many of those people. I think of Teddy Roosevelt. You know, Teddy Roosevelt once gave one of these inspiring speeches which he used to give and electrify people about what should be done and where the country should be going. And a small businessman came up to him afterwards and said, Mr. President, you know, that's great, but you know, what can I'm a small businessman, a small town. What can I do to really help the country? And Teddy Roosevelt said, do what you can with what you have got, where you can, but do it.
I call it the ripple effect. And that's really what matters, is the person who becomes a recipient of Russ's generosity for the Make a Difference Awards, they in turn create their own ripples in their community, and people who receive generosity from them and give it back to others. It's a continuing ripple.
You are the best. Each one of you epitomizes exactly the kind of life that we all should lead. You've done it with your hands. You've done it with your mind. You've done it because you care about people. You've done it because you want to make it a better world, and you've done so.